Hey there, friend. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so glad that you're here today because we are talking about one of my favorite topics, strategic planning. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, that sounds so complicated and so corporate, I promise you it's not. In fact, I used to live and breathe this stuff back when I worked in corporate. You know, we had planning meetings, we had projections, quarterly reviews out the wazoo, all of that stuff. But I'll be honest, a lot of it felt kind of fluffy and wasn't really executed very well. So when I started my own business, I wanted planning to feel different. I wanted it to be personal, intentional, and actually useful. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about how to create a strategic business plan that actually aligns with your real goals, not someone else's idea of success. Sound good? Let's get to it. Before we get started, let me mention that I have a free business planning workbook that you can grab. It will be on the show notes page along with all the other resources mentioned. And you can find that at toniakendrick.com/55. Let's start with the basics. What is a strategic business plan? Well, in plain terms, it's your roadmap. It guides you from where you are right now to where you want to go with intention. It's not just about dreaming big, though, certainly we want to do that too. It's about connecting the dots between your vision, your goals, and the day-to-day actions that actually move the needle. And here's the thing. As solopreneurs, we don't have the luxury of time. We don't have the time to waste chasing shiny objects or hopping from strategy to strategy. A solid plan helps you stay focused. It helps you say yes to what matters and no to distractions. It also gives you peace of mind because you're not flying blind. You've got a strategy to fall back on. Now, a quick note on a common misconception. Strategic planning is not just for big companies with teams and budgets. It really is for you, even if you're a team of one. Especially if you're a team of one. It's about working smarter, not harder, and making sure that your business is moving in the direction you actually want to go. A solid strategic plan includes 4 key components: where you are now, where you want to go, what might get in your way, and what you'll do to get to your destination. First, you need a clear understanding of your current state. What's working, what's not, and what resources do you have? Then you want to define your future goals. This is what success looks like for you in the next 6 months or a year or even 3 years. Next, identify potential obstacles. These could be internal things like time or energy, or external, like market trends, the economy, or tech limitations. Finally, outline the specific actions needed to bridge that gap. All right, now that we know what strategic planning is, let's talk about the foundation of every great plan, your goals. If you've been around here for a while, you've probably heard me talk about SMART goals before. But let's revisit it quickly because it is important. SMART stands for specific, say exactly what you want to accomplish. Measurable, make it trackable so you know when you've hit the goal. Achievable, set a goal that stretches you but isn't so out there that it feels impossible. Relevant, make sure that it ties into your big picture vision. And time-bound, give it a deadline. Let me give you a quick example. A vague goal is, I want to grow my business. Well, yeah, we all want to grow our business. But a SMART goal is, I want to sign 5 new clients for my one-on-one offer by June 30th. See the difference there? One gives your brain 0 direction. The other gives it marching orders. So here's where I want you to pause and reflect. What do you really want in your business? More clients, more time off, a digital product that sells itself while you sleep? Whatever it is, own it. Write it down. Okay, next, let's get honest about where you are right now. Because if you don't know your starting point, you can't chart your path forward. One of my favorite tools for this is the good old SWOT analysis. And if you've never done one, don't worry, I've got you. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So strengths. What are you really good at? What do people always compliment you on? Weaknesses. What's not working right now? What are you not great at? What do you avoid because it feels hard or confusing? And then opportunities. Where do you see a gap that you could fill or a trend that you could hop on? And lastly, threats. What external factors could slow your roll? Think algorithm changes, a crowded market, or even burnout. I did this recently in my own business, and I realized that one of my strengths, well, I didn't realize, but I reminded myself that one of my strengths is creating simple systems. But a weakness, I hadn't been promoting my products consistently lately, which meant that I wasn't making the most of those systems. I had systems in place, I just wasn't following them. So take a few minutes this week to sit down and do your own SWOT analysis. You might be surprised at what comes up. All right, now it's time to bring it all together and start crafting your actual strategic business plan. So here's a step-by-step framework that you can follow. First, define your vision. Where do you want your business to be 1 year from now, 3 years from now? Don't worry about the how yet. Just dream, just visualize, just picture. This is your big picture. Why am I doing this moment? 2, write your mission. This is your purpose. Who do you serve? How do you help them? Why does it matter? Let's dig deeper into vision and mission for just a moment, because I know people get confused about that. And they are foundational pieces of your strategic plan. So a vivid vision isn't just a businessy sentence that you write and forget. It is a clear and compelling snapshot of what your future business is going to look like, where you're heading, what your business looks like when it's working exactly how you want it to. It should describe the future state of your organization in vivid detail. How you work, who you serve, how your life and business feel day to day, and big picture. Your vision should inspire you and also guide your decisions as you grow. And I have a whole episode on crafting your vision. I'll drop a link to it in the show notes. Your mission, on the other hand, is the why behind everything that you do. It answers this question: what's the one reason that my business exists? A good mission statement is simple, clear, and action-oriented. You're not trying to impress anyone with jargon. You're trying to connect with them. This reminds me of back in my corporate days when we would have strategic planning meetings, and we would always have a section where we did mission statements. And invariably, they would just be packed with all the corporate jargon. As much corporate jargon as people could get in there, that was what was in the mission statement. Really, that's not what you want. What you want is something that speaks to your heart. Think of it like your anchor. It helps you stay grounded and aligned even when things get noisy like they often do in the online business world. Here's a simple formula that I love for mission statements. I help specific people do specific thing so they can get desired result. I'll drop that in the show notes. When you're clear on your vision and mission, strategic planning becomes so much easier because every decision gets to pass through the filter of, does this move me closer to where I want to be and who I want to serve? Okay, step 3, set 2 to 3 key objectives. These are your big goals for the next 6 to 12 months. For example, maybe you want to launch a big course, build your email list to 1,000 subscribers, or create a content system. Once you've got your vision and mission in place, the next step is to set a few key objectives. And when I say a few, I really mean a few. 2 to 3. One of the biggest mistakes I see solo business owners make is trying to do everything at once. Launch the course, grow the list, start the podcast, build the funnel, go viral on Instagram. Sound familiar? But strategic planning isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters the most, the right things. So your key objectives really are 2 to 3 big outcomes that you're focused on for the next few months. They should align directly with your vision and mission. Ask yourself, if I could only accomplish 3 things this quarter, what would move the needle the most in my business? Each objective becomes a sort of mini destination on your roadmap. These aren't random tasks. They're your intentional priorities, and you have chosen them on purpose because they support the business and the life that you're trying to build. This focus keeps you out of reactive mode and in alignment with what really matters to you and for your business. It also makes your daily and weekly planning so much easier because you're not just checking off boxes, you're making strategic progress, and that is motivating. So break each objective down into initiatives. Let's say that one of your objectives is to launch your course. Your initiatives might be map out the curriculum, build the sales page, set up your email funnel. Next, create action steps and timelines. This is really where the rubber meets the road. Take each initiative and break it into bite-sized tasks. Give them deadlines. Put them in your project management tool or your planner or on sticky notes on a whiteboard, whatever works for you. And here's something that's important, and I want you to remember this. Flexibility is part of the plan. Life happens. Sometimes your goals have to evolve. And that doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you're being intentional and adapting as you grow. A strategic plan is not set in stone. It's a living, breathing thing. So give yourself permission to adjust it when you need to. Okay, here's where a lot of people drop the ball. They make a plan, then they forget to check back in with it. Your plan only works if you use it. That was my big argument back in my corporate days. We created the plans, we didn't use the plans. Anyway, one way to keep yourself on track is by measuring success with KPIs, key performance indicators. Think of these as the pulse points of your business, the numbers that tell you how you're doing. These don't have to be fancy or complicated. For solopreneurs, KPIs might include things like monthly revenue, email list growth, client retention, or even how many new leads you're getting each week. To keep things balanced, I love the idea of using a balanced scorecard approach. Instead of just focusing on the financial results, which is what we're often trained to do, This method encourages you to track different areas of your business, like customer satisfaction, internal processes, personal growth, as well as financial performance. It helps you keep the whole picture in view. For example, maybe your scorecard includes revenue. That's a good one. That's your financial metric. Client testimonials or repeat customers. That's representative of your customer experience. Systems you've created or improved. These are your internal processes. Work-life balance or energy levels. That could be a personal growth metric. I share all the details of my scorecard approach in my 90-day planning bootcamp, and I'll drop a link to that in the show notes. I also recommend doing a monthly review. Block off an hour, doesn't even have to be an hour, at the end of every month to look at what you accomplished, what's still in progress, and what needs to be adjusted. Ask yourself, am I making progress toward my objectives? What's working really well? Where am I feeling stuck or off track? This kind of reflection is gold. It keeps you focused, it helps you course correct early, and it builds momentum. I review my journal, my daily journal, to capture thoughts and feelings on what was working or not throughout the month. And to make things even easier, use a tool to track your progress. It could be a spreadsheet, a Trello board, Asana, Notion, a notebook, whatever fits your style. I use a mix of Asana for tasks and Google Sheets for my strategic overview. And for me, that works beautifully. So let's recap what we covered today. We talked about what strategic planning really is and why it matters for solopreneurs. We talked about how to set clear, aligned goals using the SMART method. We talked about SWOT analysis to check in on your current situation. And you got a step-by-step method to build your strategic plan one piece at a time. And we talked about how to keep it alive with regular check-ins and progress tracking. That was a lot. But you've got this. I believe in you. Planning doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's about taking what matters to you and turning it into a simple, focused strategy that you can follow. All right, here's what I want you to do next. These are your action steps. Reflect on your big vision and write a draft mission statement. Choose 2 to 3 SMART goals for the next 90 days. Do a quick SWOT analysis. Don't overthink this. Just, quick and dirty, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Pick one key objective and then break it down into action steps. And if you want extra support putting your plan into action, I have a whole library of planning resources waiting for you, from the Goal Setting Bootcamp, which is perfect for getting crystal clear on what you want, to the 90-Day Planning Bootcamp, which helps you break those big goals into doable chunks, plus courses like Harness the Power of Mind Mapping and, most recently, Plan and Prosper Blueprint, which is all about helping you get clear, focused, and ready to tackle the year ahead. You don't have to figure this out alone. When you join the membership, you get instant access to all the resources, and you can dive straight into whatever fits where you are now. And hey, if you loved this episode, would you share it with a biz buddy or leave a quick review? It really helps the podcast grow, and I would be so grateful. Thanks for hanging out with me today. You've got this.